Question, we'll get one of the remote mics to you, and reminder, no live.
Kirby, 2 days in now, just how's practice been this week as you guys get ready for Saturday?
Been great. The guys are fired up and understand the importance of the game, and really good practice today and good practice yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Chris tonight, and with Saturday being his last home game. As someone played safety at Georgia, what has impressed you the most about the way he has grown and matured and grown into that position?
Just his toughness and his leadership. He was always a competitor, a great kid, comes from a great family, great high school background. Played corner, played everything we asked. I mean, if anything, he's grown as a leader. He's had a very he's probably had some anger management moments where he's gotten really upset out on the field, and he's matured so much. I can still remember him trying to fight guys at practice because I made him run one day for other guys' academic problems, and he was ready to kill somebody. And he's just gotten so much more mature since being here, and just such a great leader. So thankful that he came back.
Coach, you touched on this yesterday, but when you talk about reminding your players about this rivalry and everything, did you get some of your assistants? I mean, guys like Bobo, maybe Will, to talk about their experiences in this rivalry, doing something you just kind of do yourself?
Not really. I mean, I thought about letting guys share, but most of the guys here that were here while I was here, and we've shared some videos, some history, some video footage, and that kind of thing. But I don't know if kids care about that. I really don't. They everything is relative to them. They see us out there like dinosaurs, and they don't look at it as relevant. So what's relevant to them is that probability doesn't equal reality, and you can't go off probability. These games are decided on the grass, not on paper. And if we learned anything last week, is that probability doesn't equal reality. So you got to go out and play good.
Kirby, Georgia Tech has been really good as far as creating turnovers throughout this year. What sort of stands out to you about how they've been able to do that and the challenge that's going to present?
Yeah, their defense coordinator does a great job. They attack the ball, man. They've got visual, intentional strip outs, and that's what we want our guys to do. We always say we're competing with the other team to have more, cause more turnovers than they do, and they do a great job with it. I mean, they're plus 10 in their wins, and they're plus 1 in their losses. So they're really good in turnover margin.
Nowadays, these things are kind of moving more than ever. Have you got a count at this point yet, since the last time I see you, in terms of the number of seniors that are going to participate on
No clue.
Saturday? You have any idea?
No clue. I haven't thought about it since Monday when I mentioned somewhere between 20 and 25, but no clue.
Kirby, a couple of practices since the last saw you. Any progress for AD?
Yeah, he's practiced some. He's been able to go out and take some reps and things. He took a few today. I wouldn't say that he's 100%, or I don't even know that I would say he's close to playing, but he's done more this week than he's done any other week. So he's closer than he's ever been. So I'm hopeful.
During the game with Kentucky, they ran a stat about turnover margin, and I know that that's an area that you stress. It is curious to be -2 and be this elite of a football program. What do you point at? Is it just bad luck, or are teams just that much more careful around you?
No, turnovers they're hard to control. I'd love to say we control them. For whatever reason, 7 years I've been here, we've never really been great. I think 1 year we had pretty good turnover margin, either the first or second year. But outside of that, we never really have turned the ball over a lot offensively. So the margin becomes the defense's problem when you don't turn it over a lot. But we've delved and dug a lot into a different stat, which is explosive plays and the explosive play differential. And we think that a greater indicator of wins and losses is the explosive play differential. And when you add our runs and passes and you combine it against what our defense has given up, we haven't had a game that we weren't less than 4 positive. And that indicator actually in the SEC is a greater indicator of what's won games. Now, I don't know why that is, but Ole Miss, ourselves, Tennessee, Alabama are the four greatest differential teams in terms of explosive plays over their opponent. So we dig hard at that. It does not lessen the value of a turnover because turnovers are critical and the greatest equalizer there is in sport. And really, you think about how did Georgia Tech beat Pitt on the road, turnover margin was a critical factor in that game. So it's something that we got to continue to improve. But we keep selling to our players that if we're a lot more explosive than an opponent and we don't give up explosives, we get +4 over what they get. So if we get 10 of them and they get 6 of them, then we're going to have a great chance of winning the game.
Kirby, a quick follow-up on AD. You said last week he wasn't eligible for the tightrope surgery. Why was that?
I don't know the technical reason, but Ron could tell you. We asked Ron that a long time ago. To have a tightrope, you have to have a certain kind of injury. When they go MRI scan it, you've got to have something floating around in there. He does not have that. He does not. It's just it wouldn't have helped him. It's a different deal. So when you have a tightrope, you got to have a certain kind of high ankle sprain. It has to tear like completely off. His was not that way. His was a grade 1+ or a grade 2, I think it was, and you got to have worse than that in order to get the tightrope.
When he originally did it after the Stanford game, not after all the
Well, there's no difference between the two MRIs. So there was never anything seen between the first MRI and the second MRI that showed there was any more damage. It bothered him more. He felt like he tweaked it, but there was no shown damage or shown anything in there from the second time they MRI'd it. So there was never a tightrope opportunity from either time.
Has Tate been able to get back from that injury?
Yeah, Tate's practiced every day, but Tate practiced last week every day. So it's going to be a matter of how much he can play.
Yeah, how would you assess the job that Broderick Jones has done as a left tackle this season, especially growing, this is his first full year. Obviously, he started for you guys a little bit last year, but every game at left tackle so far.
Yeah, Brod's done a good job. He's a good leader. He's really athletic, great at pass pro, continues to get better. There's times I wish he would get more strain and more push, but not a guy that buys in and really coaches the other players, and really just appreciate how much he's meant to this program and how much maturity he's gotten. From the first time he got here, he was raw, and he's come a long way.
I'm just intrigued by your explosive play differential. What are you using for your number of explosives on there?
I think it's 12 and 15. I think it's 12 run, 15 pass. Might be 17 pass. I forget. We got a analyst in here that does it, and we do a chart for every game, every team in the SEC, and it shows how many wins and losses they have based on explosive play differential. And I want to say it's like 45-4 if you win the explosive play differential, where the turnover margin is not 45-4. We've proven that because we've lost the turnover margin several times and still won.
Coach, haven't asked you about Reed Gilbert, I guess, in a few weeks now. Kind of how is he doing? I guess just number one. I mean, hasn't obviously got to play too much. I mean, he obviously got some guys he has to get past, but just how is he doing right now? I know he didn't travel to the game the other day.
He's doing well, continues to grow, and just trying to help Arik as a person and a student right now.
Kirby, we talk about the history of this rivalry, and on Saturday, that'll be the first time since 1927 that each team is led by an alum. Obviously, that's not the big focus of this game, but what does that mean just to know that this game is kind of part of history with you and Brent on the other side?
Just circumstance, I guess. That's just the way it happened, So I don't really know. I don't really know what it means. I don't know that it's relevant, I mean, it's just the first time it's come out that way in that long.
Kirby, you're talking about probabilities. I'm not sure if you're talking about probability that, analytics say Georgia Tech, or the probability to make the playoffs. Is that kind of stuff that you don't want your players to see or hear about?
No, I don't control that. Probability is all that stuff that's out there, the noise, the people that think that a team's not, why is Michigan favored by 20-something and then they're in a tight ball game? Why is Ohio State favored by whatever they're favored by? Why is Florida favored by whatever? Why is UCF favored by whatever? Why is Tennessee favored by whatever? And then it changes. It's not reality. It's what some person in Vegas or some person sitting in this room thinks. Probability doesn't equal reality, right? Reality is what you do on the field, and you control that by how you prepare. So I'm a lot more worried about preparation than I am probability.
Between transfer portal, NIL, constant recruiting, talking to us, it seems like there's a lot of detractions with being a head coach and all the stress that comes with it. What do you love about your job?
I love the relationship I have with my players. I love the opportunity to see a guy go from a freshman that doesn't know what he's doing, like Lewis Seen, to a first-round pick. An opportunity for a guy like James Cook, who gave everything he had to this university to go and become an NFL player, and an opportunity for a walk-on like Dan Jackson to come here and live his dream and go play for UGA. That's why I do what I do, not really anything else.
You're talking about Georgia Tech's defense. What do they do specifically well defensively that's enabled them to limit what they did against North Carolina and turn Pitt over?
Havoc. I mean, they cause havoc. They stunt. They move people. They fire people. They blitz people, and they cause turnovers. They play really hard. They bought into Coach Thacker and what he believes in, and they're playing really hard. They're athletic. They move around a lot and do a good job.
Take two more questions.
I'll just follow up with Coach Key. Talking with him today, he mentioned you guys going way back, spending time on the recruiting trail. I mean, did he always strike you as the kind of guy that would, be a head coach like you in terms of what you knew about him and how he carried himself in leads?
Oh yeah, he's got great leadership quality. He played under what I think of as one of the best staffs that's been around when he played there. It was George O'Leary. I mean, he had, the job that he did there goes unrecognized, and it was during some of the time that I was playing here. He had some of the best Georgia Tech teams there were. They were so physical, so competitive, and I think Brent playing under him shaped him into who he is and who he's become as a coach. And what a tremendous job he did, and now Brent's doing. Brent's been a good football coach and a good recruiter for a long time, and he still will be. I don't know where he'll end up. I don't know if he'll end up there or somewhere else, but he's going to be a good football coach regardless of where he is.
Kirby, Coach Munkin's up as one of the nominees for the Broyles Award. What has stood out to you about the job he's done as far as offensive coordinator this season?
Yeah, he's been incredibly innovative with our offense. When you think about a guy that's had, arguably one of our best wideouts out the entire year, and to do what he's done, he's had running backs banged up, he's had guys in and out of the lineup at receiver, and still do it the way he's done it, and what he's done with Stetson and his ability. I think offensively our numbers kind of speak for themselves, especially when you play in the league we play in, which is a tough, really physical league. He's done a tremendous job, and he recreates it each and every week. And I think if you polled the coaches he plays against, they'd be the first to tell you he's really hard to prepare for because there's run and pass involved, and he does it with an NFL style that kids like to play for. So, the fact he's up for that award, I can't think there'd be anybody better to win that with what he's done offensively, especially with what he's had to work with. So, thanks.